Trophies on the mantle, dubs on the panel. Opponents can't stand you, don't change the channel. Sit back, relax, take notes for a bit. DFDUBB Scrubs on the throne winning ships. DFDUBB Scrubs coming up.
All right. Welcome to DFDUBB Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Alex. We got Nambo and then Christian, and then we have Johnny Valdez, probably asleep somewhere. It's been a minute. There's been some major changes since the last time y'all heard us here. Christian has got a new hat apparently, and more importantly, we have a new father that's on the broadcast today.
Congrats. Thank you.
Nabo just had her first little baby girl, Oakley. How you feeling, man? How do you feel from prior to her being born to now? Like,
life's totally different for sure, bro. She's a week old today, so week in the books.
Congratulations.
Thank God made it through. But little sleep is what I've been dealing with. That's the biggest difference. But no, it's been fun. She just mainly eats and sleeps right now. So
awesome. Yeah, no, that's badass, bro. I'm happy for you. I told you that shit was gonna be life altering. Like, I know you're super nervous, didn't know what you were gonna be doing. Obviously, you still have her whole life ahead of you, but I bet that feeling is just incredible, right?
Hell yeah.
Like, you can.
No, it's an amazing.
And you just
feeling.
want to watch. You just want to watch her sleep, want to do everything for her, and
I've caught myself doing it a few times, and I gotta stop myself because I feel like creep. She's just passed out. I'm just staring at her. I'm like, all right, dude, just go to bed or something. I'm like, fuck.
No, it's totally normal, man.
Absolutely.
All right, but let's get back to it. Congratulations, Nambo. I'm happy for you, bro. Nothing but love and positivity from this side. Let's get into some fantasy stuff. Well, let's get into some news, and then we'll talk about what's been going down in the first 3 weeks, because it's been fucking crazy. Actually, I need to stop cursing so much. But what you got, Nambo?
All right, so some pretty big news. Swift is dealing with a shoulder and ankle issue. So they're basically saying he's going to be out maybe next couple weeks, maybe going to sit him until after their week 6 bye. So that's kind of a big hit to most fantasy people, because I think a lot of them took him in back into the first round, most of them. So plus if you roster Jamal Williams, yay. You also got Joe Mixon ankle. Not they say he's not really looking like it'll be a problem for Thursday Night Football, so something to monitor through tomorrow and up till Thursday. David Montgomery went down with an ankle/knee issue in yesterday's game. He's considered day-to-day. They're not super concerned with it being real serious, but you never know. So maybe if we'll get to that in a little bit, but you know what I mean. Dalvin Cook is considered day-to-day also. He's got a shoulder injury. They're saying he's used to having some injuries, so he's going to be looking forward to playing through it or trying to. So, probably come down to a game-time decision. Jalen Guyton for the Chargers tore his ACL, so he's out for the season. Tua's dealing with back and ankle. He took a pretty hard hit yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he got popped pretty hard and was like trying to stand back up, was stumbling and all that stuff. So I feel like that's something definitely big to be watching. Mike Evans is back from a suspension this week. He got reinstated this morning, so that's a big boost to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers offense. Jalen Waddle's dealing with a groin issue also. Something, I guess, to watch out for. Mac Jones, this one's kind of big for the Patriots offense. My boys out there, this might hurt. He's got an ankle injury. It's considered day-to-day, but it came out today, a couple hours ago after I wrote this, and something about it's looking a little bit more serious than they thought, and Brian Hoyer might be starting this coming week. So whether that's a plus or a negative for the Patriots offense, we'll see. Higgins also dealing with a toe issue. Not too sure on how serious that is. Couldn't really find out much on that other than a few little things. And last but not least, Keenan Allen is supposed to be returning to practice hopefully soon from his hamstring injury that's kept him out for at least the last 2 weeks. So that's really all the big news I have lined up. Y'all, did I miss anything? Y'all got anything?
Breaking news: Baker Mayfield is that bad. Shout out to my DJ Moore guys. I would have took him as my wide receiver one if it played out that way. I'm glad in most of my leagues it didn't play out that way because I definitely would have. I hate Baker Mayfield.
He's been
But
hot
yeah,
trash.
no, I mean DeAndre Swift's definitely the biggest one, right? He's gonna be out 2, maybe 3 weeks. So if you have Jamal Williams, obviously play him. He's been playing. He's been playable even with Swift.
Yeah, vulturing those
but
touchdowns. God, he makes me mad.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
dude.
I'm looking at the number. I'm like, who is that? 30?
I'm
Is
watching.
that 32?
Yeah.
No, it's 30.
Like, God damn, bro.
And he gets so hyped. He just walks into.
Oh,
It's like
you see his
it's
little
not
hit,
even-
he had one too many.
I'm like,
hits
give it to
hit throws
DeAndre,
just-
bro.
He got flagged.
Khalil Herbert, he's definitely going to be somebody to look out for. I mean, we'll get into the
That's
waiver
one of the
stuff,
bigger
but,
ones for me.
Let's kind of
like Swift will be back. He'll be back to his role, but
right.
he might have lost,
Well,
lost that completely.
Herbert busted it out yesterday.
Because that's what he had.
Looked good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's just have a quick reaction before we get into like people we're targeting and then people we drop. But quick reaction over the first 3 weeks. Well, at least the last 2 weeks because we haven't been on the air. Since we last been out here, Justin Jefferson has been subpar. DJ Moore has been terrible. Alvin Kamara came back. He did not have a great game. Let's see. There's some. It's kind of weird, dude. Well, Christian and I had talked about it a little bit earlier. It's been kind of weird, dude. Like a lot of the stud early round picks have not been playing up to par. How much is that? Maybe us whiffing on them, or is that just part of the process of, the offense never plays in the preseason, so they're still trying to get the timing and getting their flow and their offense corrected? Or how much of that is actually true? Because we can say Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, Dalvin Cook, CMC to a certain extent. Obviously Najee, Alvin Kamara, he's been kind of hurt, but they've been
subpar.
They've been suspect at least, and most of those guys and Joe Mixon they're all like first round picks, and they have not lived up to that. How do y'all feel, man? What do y'all think about this year so far? It's been kind of weird.
It's been pretty up and down so far. I mean, a few of those have had their, they came out and like I think what was it? CMC, he's been decently solid as far as like giving you double.
Yeah, he's been solid.
He just ain't been giving you that full CMC points that he's supposed to, averaging 20 plus points a game and all that. Justin Jefferson, boy, that boy's been.
Derrick Henry, I forgot to mention him.
Derrick Henry just had.
Had a badass game, which. Yeah, but it was Vegas. Like you saw, if he didn't have a good game against Vegas, like that was,
hey man,
like it's panic mode.
He caught like 4 targets or something like that in yesterday's game, So
yeah, he had a goal line. He could have had another touchdown.
Yeah, so they starting to target him in the passing game maybe just a smidgen, but Cooper Kupp's been solid. He's been one of those real solid ones still for where you drafted him at, but I still think it's a little too early for those players to be just freaking out.
Fournette,
they're
Aaron Jones.
They're first round picks for a reason. So let them get in their groove.
Just the top tier running backs in general. Like, I'm just going in a full PPR top 12, bro. We got people you didn't expect to be in top 12, like RB1s so far through the first 3 weeks. James Robinson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cordero Patterson, Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, and Antonio Gibson. They're all RB1s right now in full PPR.
Yep.
How much is that? Are these like sell high candidates, or are these guys you're holding on to? As far as, let's just go down. We're gonna go with Nick Chubb's number one right quick, but Nick Chubb is arguably the best running back in the league, right? Like that dude is a stud. If he had all the shares to himself, he'd be a top 3 pick every
No
year.
doubt.
But as far as right now, we got James Robinson coming back from a torn Achilles. It was kind of iffy with Travis Etienne out there. We didn't know how the shares were gonna go, but dude, he's been looking good. He's been looking explosive. And then that offense is also way better than kind of anticipated. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't know how that's gonna hold up, because I know he's gotten a lot of touchdown. His utilization isn't quite there, but I mean, he's getting the touches where it counts, right? So how much can you fault him? Cordero Patterson's there. Obviously, he looks good. He looked good last year up to about halfway into the season, by week 10. Then he fell off dramatically. He is a little bit older. He is technically a wide receiver, but right now he looks spry. And then obviously he's on the Atlanta offense. So Khalil Herbert, that's the interesting one. Jamal Williams, he's a backup. He's the second running back and putting up these numbers. Like, literally, the Lions have 2 RB1s on this list right now with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. And then, of course, we got Antonio Gibson rounding out number 12. He's probably not going to stay there with Brian Robinson coming back, but still, he's been impressive considering all the news that was coming out in the offseason and about him, just being the kick returner and punt returner and whatnot. How do y'all feel about these, just particularly these guys, James Robinson, CEH, Cordero Patterson, Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, and then Antonio Gibson?
I feel like James Robinson will continue to be a really good back. Like you were saying, that offense is better than we anticipated. He has a solid role over there, and he's looked just as good as he ever has. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that's not as big as a committee as we expected it to be, and he's been looking good. High scoring offense. I think he'll be getting touchdowns. Cordero Patterson, like you was just saying, like his body's probably gonna end up breaking down at some point in the season. He's old, but that was a surprise to me. I mean, I don't know why we all expected him to just not be good. And we was just thinking that it's gonna be more of a committee over there or what, but.
Well, yeah, it's because just at the end of the year last year, he was almost unplayable. He was a bench, like he was maybe the steal of the, well, I would say because he was a waiver wire pick. It would be like he was a fantasy winner in the first 10 weeks, and then after that, he just fell off, and then people kept playing him, hoping he would revive, and then he didn't come back true to form. So if you have Cordero Patterson, just ride the hot hand, and then when you see him start slipping up, I don't know, maybe try to cash in on that. But we also got Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, and then Antonio Gibson in the RB1 range.
Keeping Jamal Williams, that offense looks good. DeAndre Swift catches the passes, and Jamal Williams gets the touchdowns. I mean, so I think he'll be solid. And Khalil Herbert, I don't know how that'll play out once D-Mont comes back. He might have some like flex appeal. I think that he's carved himself out a pretty solid role. But D-Mont will be mixed in there.
Yeah, for sure. What about Antonio Gibson?
I think he's right in week 1.
You know what's funny? Yeah, I'm looking at the stats from our league, our DFDUBB Scrubs league. Cody had Antonio Gibson, Saquon Barkley, and he also had James Robinson on his team. He had 3 RB1s on his team, bro. And he traded him for Ryan Robinson.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Oh, that's dirty. So I mean, I got 1. Nambo has 2 technically with Khalil Herbert. And then you got 2 as well with Jonathan Taylor and Jamal Williams. That's crazy. There's no way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Let's just. I know this is gonna be a running back heavy episode, right? Because we still have Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Javonte Williams, Leonard Fournette, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, CMC. Like, CMC's in the top 12, but still, So you're saying you like James Robinson. Would you rather have Derrick Henry or James Robinson?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He looked good yesterday. He looked really good.
I would do that, right? I would, if Nambo, because you have him in our league, in DFDUBBs. I'd probably send that out. See how
Right.
that goes.
Oh,
If you want Derrick Henry, because I bet he'll take
he
it.
won't.
I
My
mean-
brother has Derrick Henry.
He won't?
He's not giving up Derrick.
Okay. James Robinson or Leonard Fournette?
I still rather have.
I like
Lenny.
James Robinson.
I
I like James Robinson. I
think Lenny. I think personally, I think Lenny is the ultimate buy low target right now. He's about to explode, bro. Like he's been okay. He's been playable and solid. Man, he has not gotten a touchdown yet.
Yeah. And once those wide receivers
Dalvin
come
Cook.
back too, once those wide receivers come back, it's just gonna open that offense up a lot. And Lenny, Lenny will be up there.
Maybe. I mean, we gotta talk about Brady right quick. Like, he could be done. You know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We could play face reality.
He's
Like
been out
Father
there with
Time
it, bro.
is. We are recording during the Cowboys and Giants game.
Are they back
FY,
home?
it's a barn burner, 6-3.
Mm.
What about Dalvin Cook? What's your concern levels on Dalvin Cook?
They're pretty high, honestly. It's another year of him getting injured. Like,
Would you
and
trade
he
James
hasn't-
Robinson for Dalvin Cook?
Not with him being injured now. Not
As
with
it
his
stands, you
shoulder
have the
injury.
number 2 running back on your team right now, bro.
Yeah, I know, because he's a monster, and I traded him for Robinson Jr. So I don't know. I like holding on to James Robinson. honestly.
Basically picked him up off the
Oh.
waiver wire for $0.
yeah.
That's basically what happened.
It was offered to you. Nambo got so lucky this year. He had 2 running backs that just fell in his lap because
Hey,
he was
man.
in the right place at the right time.
It happens, bro.
He got DeAndre Swift in the Dynasty League while the guy was still drunk as hell,
Yeah.
just trying to make a trade. And then he got James Robinson for Brian Robinson just because Cody wanted both of the
The Washington
Commanders.
the
running
Washington
back.
wide running backs. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Gross. Who are some guys that y'all think are going to come up? Because those guys aren't, obviously, that's not going to be sustainable for most of those guys, right? Who do you think is going to be taking in their place?
Who's gonna be coming up into the RB1?
Into the RB1 territory,
Dalvin Cook will be there, obviously.
Like, who would you target right now? If you have one of those running backs, who would y'all target?
Jonathan Taylor. He's been on. I mean, he hasn't been. He ain't been putting up no, second round, first round, first, second pick numbers.
Number
So,
one
I'm well
overall.
aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has not. Like, he has been on the lower end of that. So, like,
Speaking of that, though, man, I mean, Cooper Cook and Stephon Diggs, they've been awesome. Justin Jefferson is disappointed. Devontae Adams to a certain extent, he's still solid. Jamar Chase, there's quite a bit. Like, obviously DJ Moore, if we're gonna get into the deeper guys.
60.
Allen Robinson. There's some Mike Williams. What are y'all gonna do? Like, there's some high, top 3, top 4 rounds guys that got drafted and they're not doing great. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, you're not gonna panic too much on Justin Jefferson, right?
Nah.
But this is what I was worried about with
But,
Mike Williams. That was my concern. Was he'll win you a week and then he'll come up and put up less than 10 points. And it was the same thing last year after that stretch of games. He was just so inconsistent. You didn't know what he was gonna do.
Aaron Jones-esque.
I mean, I like to.
Well, yeah, who would y'all rather have?
It's week
Quick-
3. I mean,
Quick sidebar. Would y'all rather have Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon?
Aaron Jones.
I like AJ Dillon, man. I think I would rather have AJ Dillon
And for the rest of the
for the
season?
rest of the season. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, but yeah.
What about you?
That offense looks weird.
Then we got. I'd rather have. That's just gonna hurt, man. I'll take Aaron Jones because he'll give you those 30-point weeks, and those will win you weeks. AJ Dillon, I don't see him, winning you weeks. He'll be solid though. I'm looking at the wide receivers right now. Lamar Jackson is playing absolutely out of his mind, and he has 2. He obviously has the the top
Tight end.
tight end in the league so far, fantasy wise.
Yep.
I think personally, Mark Andrews is the best tight end at this point in their careers between him and Kelsey, and then he has two top 24 wide receivers in Devin Duvernay and Rashad Bateman. I'm just looking at the guys right now. There's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Greg Dortch. These are top 24 wide receivers. Greg Dortch, Matt Collins, Chris Olave, obviously Garrett Wilson, Drake London. A lot of rookies in here.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Samuel's in here. Christian Kirk. Absolute steal. What a fucking
Absolutely.
steal Christian Kirk is. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle. I mean, that's not too surprising, but
I got
Christian
both of
Kirk
them on
and
my team right now.
and Devontae Smith has surprisingly been targeted a lot by
He had a hell of
Jalen
a game
Hurts.
yesterday,
Like
bro. Hell of a game yesterday.
to the point where it's concerning as an AJ Brown owner. AJ Brown's still doing his thing,
Yeah.
but I'm freaking Devontae Smith is getting on my
I
nerves,
know.
man. Every time I watch that game, I'm like, but he's good. He's good. Jalen Hurts has definitely taken that step. FYI, that was one of my main concerns. Can he be better as a passer? And he's definitely proven at least up to these first 3 games. That being said, he hasn't really played anybody yet, but he hasn't been choking anything away. He's MVP level, but I think right now, as far as I think it'd be Lamar Jackson. What y'all
Yeah,
think?
he's having an MVP type season. Starting anyway.
Timeout.
Go ahead.
Timeout. A-Rod, you're black on my screen.
He's Mexican.
Like it's video cut out.
What about you,
I
Christian?
see.
Can you see him?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with it.
Let's just keep it rolling.
All
But yeah, no, it's just a little bit concerning. So obviously we're not worried too much about those. I want to get into a couple of the quarterbacks though, real quick before we get into our waivers. Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray. What do y'all think about those guys?
Russell Wilson's a fraud. God bless America. My boy been making me mad. That's all I have to say about Russell Wilson.
Man, I think they'll all show up eventually. I mean, I think the beginning of this season just been weird. Like offenses aren't clicking the way you expect them to. And I think everyone's just
Matthew Stafford.
bro. Like we were saying, all before season.
But-
This quarterback, room, the quarterbacks this year are so deep, but man, all those mid-range quarterbacks been playing like absolute trash. Joe Burrow's been looking like trash.
Dude, I'm looking at this is the top 25 on it. Tom Brady's not even in the top 25
Joe
in 6-point
Flacco is
passing
up
leagues
there.
right now.
Joe Flacco has been balling out.
Joe
bro.
Flacco, because he throws 50 times a game.
Like,
So
God bless him.
Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith. Yeah, this is not
You
going to
got
be sustainable.
Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady is 24, 25, and 26. I don't think it's gonna stay like that.
Where the hell's Tom Brady?
26.
Oh, okay. In the next page.
Yeah.
I only see the top 25. Yeah, no, it's bad, bro.
It's different.
It
is week 3.
But let's just get into our waivers real quick. Let's try to stay on schedule. I would hopefully soon, if Nabo's down with it, maybe we could do 2 episodes. Christian said he may, if he can, he'll chime in, but I think me and you are a little bit more flexible as far as schedule wise.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe we can record like on a Friday or even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometime between them, just kind of like a start sit type of thing.
I got
or,
you. Yeah.
Buy low, just something that we can't really cover all in one episode. Because after every fantasy football week, you kind of want to. There's a lot of things to talk about. You can't really cram it into a 30-minute episode. But let's go into waivers right quick. So let's see. I'm just gonna go down the running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. QBs. I'm just as far as the only QB I see that's even worth like really putting in is a Trevor Lawrence, who looks like he's really emerging right now in that offense and with Eagles ex-coach over there. So if he's out on the waivers, I'd definitely maybe spend a couple bucks on him just to see what he's about. If he sustains it again, like he may be a league winner. He may be that undrafted quarterback that people that happens every year. There's always a undrafted quarterback that ends up in the top 10 or something like that. Running backs, I got no particular order, but y'all can give the order if y'all want. Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, Madison, Samaje Perine. You have
I think Khalil Herbert's like number one on that list, just because with the injury to Montgomery, even though it's day to day, I mean, he didn't come back the rest of the game, so that should be somewhat concerning a little bit.
That's who you would prioritize?
I think I would be prioritizing Khalil Herbert. I mean,
and how much would you, as far as fab money, what percentage?
Just to make sure I get him, I'd be doing 20-25%, honestly. Like, I'd be doing a nice little chunk. Like, he looked
I'd
good.
probably go 50, bro,
he
at
looked good
least.
yesterday when he took over.
If he's out there, I might spend half my fab at least on that dude.
Yeah.
Because he does look like he's potentially maybe take over the whole role. If not, you know,
he's gonna even if Montgomery comes back, I think he'll
50%.
a sizable amount of touches.
He looked way better than he just
more
looked
explosive.
way better than David Montgomery.
Yeah,
bro.
he looked a lot more explosive.
Yes, he did.
They run the ball so much over there. So, I mean, even if it is a 50-50.
Yeah.
They threw the ball 17 times. Yeah, no. Get you some Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Would y'all prioritize him over Jamal Williams?
I wouldn't.
I think in most leagues, I feel like most leagues, Jamal Williams has already been picked up just because, I mean, the first 3 weeks, I think he's been getting all the touchdown, goal line work essentially. So, I mean, at that point,
about
somewhat of
Madison.
Oh, obviously, yeah, you want to pick up Madison. Madison should already be picked up just because Dalvin Cook is
Samaje Perine.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of fab money on Samaje Perine just because they're already saying Mixon's going to be good to go. But I would pick him up just as an insurance policy. You never know. He could.
CeeDee Lamb is playing like garbage. Sorry, it's a 6-6 game.
Yeah, no, I would definitely pick up Perine. There's no one behind him. So,
is there another running back you guys are maybe looking at?
No. I think there was a lot of waiver wire wide receivers that popped off this weekend that have been pretty consistent last couple of weeks that I would be really putting my fat money to this week.
Yeah. Let's get into some Matt Collins is probably the least he's probably 0% owned. Even in the deepest of leagues, so
he's
he went off this
in 2% of Yahoo leagues. So
wow.
Imagine on the grand
that's
scale.
Those 18 teamers, those 18 team leagues. Greg Dortch, if he's still out there, he's definitely worth the bid. Zay Jones, Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs had a great outing without Christian Watson and Sammy Watkins. Isaiah McKenzie, he had a great game. Joshua Palmer, he had a good game. Obviously, that's without Keenan Allen, so go about that how you want. Richie James for the Giants, he's been pretty solid recently as well. Who else is that? I mean, Garrett Wilson, he's probably already scooped up after last week. Who else are y'all thinking?
You don't have to spend too much waiver wire money on him, but just because he'd probably be almost free. But Equinemius St. Brown's out there, and like the Bears have been using him quite a bit in the past, like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like running the ball and targeting.
Might be
so like he's like a poor man's version of Debo, like very poor man's. But he might, he's somebody to look at.
Jacoby Myers, if he's still out there, definitely try to scoop him up in your leagues. He gets targeted enough. Well, never mind. Mike Jones is. Did you say Mac Jones? Mac Jones is probably going to miss quite a bit.
From what I was seeing, it looked pretty serious. So I think he's going to be missing a week or two, I think. If not a little bit more.
Oh, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
If it's a high ankle sprain, and they're talking about severe high ankle sprain.
Yeah, that's true.
Any wide receivers or running backs you looking at, Christian?
Noah Brown. Noah Brown's been looking pretty good.
Oh, Noah Brown, yeah. Michael Gallup's close to returning though, so we proceed with caution, but he's definitely playable at least for the next couple weeks. And then as far as tight ends go, Logan Thomas, David Njoku had a great game on Thursday night.
Yeah, he did.
Tyler Conklin, if Gerald Everett, Tyler Higbee, Irv Smith, if they're still out there. There's a lot of tight ends out there. Even Gerald, what's the dude from The Jaguars. He's even startable.
Evan Ingram?
If you don't have, Evan Ingram. Even if you don't have like one of those top two, obviously if you don't have Kelsey or Mark Andrews, there's a whole bunch of guys you can pivot to because the rest of the guys are kind of playing around the same mark.
Hit or miss.
And like Conklin's got
although Dallas
targets through 3 games, like he's
Tyler Conklin is the number 3 tight end right now in full PPR.
and he's
I don't know.
only rostered in 30% of leagues. Like he needs to be picked up.
So get Tyler Conklin. However, Zach Wilson is probably coming back
after week 4 or something.
We'll see how that goes. That whole receiving, even the running backs, the tight ends, like everything can change of who's actually going to be productive and who's going to take a back seat. Like, we'll see. Not a big fan of Zach Wilson personally, but if you pick up any of those players, so overall, who are y'all targeting?
I'm not targeting a lot this week. This might be a week that I'm not. I mean, because the guy
just kind of like see who escapes like in the free agency.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who goes unclaimed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because guys that we talked about like Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, Madison, these guys they're rostered in. I mean, the leagues that we're in.
Yeah.
Heads up leagues.
If you're 0-3 or 1-2 and you need somebody to plug in there, bro, I mean, shit, you gotta do what you gotta do. You're starting off 0-4. As a guy who's in my main league is starting off 0-3 right now, with a whole bunch of people that I'm fucking pissed off at.
Bro,
that's the thing. Like, there's only gonna be one undefeated team after this week, and then everybody else is gonna be there's gonna be 2-1 players, and then everybody else is gonna be 1-2. So I'm not that concerned about it. I'm gonna be 1 win behind other guys. I don't think George watches this, but I'm playing George next week. So if I lose to George, I'm gonna completely trade my whole team away and just start off fresh.
I got you. Come to me over here, bro.
I got Deandre Swift. I got Godwin, who should be coming back. I did not survive the Godwin missing the first 3 weeks. I thought I could, but I did. I mean, actually, I could have if I played the right guys. I had Greg Dortch on the bench. I've had Russell Gage this past week on the bench, who's worth the look. On maybe not too much fab money, but if Godwin and Julio miss another game, Russell Gage is definitely playable next week.
Bro,
and then
I'm going against Barkley tonight, and it's not looking too good. And he needs like 2 or 3, 4 more points. I literally have 70 points sitting on my bench. Like, come on, come on.
It's tough. The lineup decisions have not been. No. I have not made the right lineup decisions this year at all. Who are you guys? So those are guys that you're kind of looking at. You can pick up depending how you feel about your team. But who are y'all gonna drop? You had to drop somebody, right? There's definitely some players out there that are still rostered that can be droppable.
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney is definitely droppable. Bro. I wouldn't even think twice about that one, to be honest with you. DJ Moore, I'm not dropping him. I'm a DJ Moore owner. I'm not, because he's getting. So you got to think. This is how I kind of go about it. If I drop this guy, what are the chances he's gonna get bid on when he get? Somebody's gonna fucking bid on DJ Moore. So I'm not dropping him. Not after week 3. I'm hoping there's gonna be a coaching change or some type of schematic change, because he is far too talented. He's not old. He's still a really young guy. Allen Robinson, that's another guy. Maybe he can hit the waivers. Rashad Penny has been really
underwhelming,
unreliable. Kyle Pitts, how y'all feel about Kyle Pitts?
I'm just waiting for him to break out,
bro. Yeah, you wait. Like, he's too much of a talented person.
Like the only reason I would consider dropping DJ Moore or even one of those guys, Allen Robinson, those big name players. I'm just spitting out big name players that were high draft capital. Is to let somebody else waste their fab on them.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what? Go waste somebody else's bench spot. Wow, I'm tired of you taking up a roster spot. So if you drop Kyle Pitts, somebody's dropping all their fab on him, bro.
Oh,
100%.
But I'm not dropping him. I'm just in the other league. I mean, there's so many good tight ends out there. So I went off and picked up Tyler Higley last week. who's been
Yeah.
great. So man, I'll plug in Higbee until Atlanta sees the talent they got over there and starts getting him the ball. But I had a similar issue last year with Allen Robinson. Like man, just you. It's how you're doing with DJ Moore. He's gonna clog up a spot on your bench, and you're just kind of waiting for him to break out of his funk. But you don't know when to play him and when not to. Can't really drop a player like that.
Yeah.
You got to trade him for someone. You have to trade that guy.
If he has a bad week against Arizona, he's not going to be on my team after this week. I promise you that.
You're definitely not getting much for him.
Even though he didn't even have a bad week too, he put up 13 PPR points, but still, that's not what I drafted you for.
Yeah.
Who else are y'all thinking about cutting, or have y'all seen out there that's still Elijah Moore?
I'm not.
Garrett, I mean, that was Zach Wilson's guy last year, so it's going to be interesting.
He really wasn't, though.
You don't think?
He was Mike White's guy.
That's true. That is true. So,
I'm at least going to wait.
Corey Davis was yeah, at least until after the quarterback
they
change.
seem to really like Garrett Wilson over there. He's been looking really good to start the first few weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean.
What about Zeke?
Zeke's damn near droppable in my opinion. Boy, been hella trash. Hella trash.
Yeah.
As far as quarterbacks, would y'all cut Russell Wilson or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
If there's somebody out there with better, yeah. If there's somebody out there, that's putting up.
I don't blame him.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
What about Russell Wilson?
Yeah, like you said, if there's one of those guys that I'd rather have Tua at this point, obviously.
Yeah.
Wentz, any of those guys. Yeah, I would drop them. I would drop them depending on who's available out there.
Oh, Barkley just scored. Fuck.
There goes my week. Fuck.
Just to recap real quick, because we're running out of time. Anybody y'all really high on, and anybody y'all just like, I'm done with this dude? As far as waiver wise,
like to drop and pick up.
Who's your number one waiver pick? How much would you spend on him? And 2 or 3 guys you would cut.
I'm going after Khalil. Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you go.
I was about to say I'm going after Khalil Herbert for sure. Like I think after this last week's game, they're definitely going to start feeding them the ball. I mean, they're a pretty run heavy offense, so I'm willing to go out there. And I mean, I had said like 25%, but A-Rod, you were kind of convincing me. I think I'd spend almost half of my fab on him. Like I'd go for it. I'd definitely be cutting Darnell Mooney. That Bears offense, as long as the passing game goes, has been awful. Probably Christian Watson if you have him. He's been like I know a lot of people took him in with pretty high draft picks. And he is not.
So far, he's definitely been like the worst rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, no, I mean
besides Jalen Tolbert, I guess, but
he does not look good at all.
He's also been hurt. To be fair to Christian Watson, he's played like one full game. Like it's.
Yeah, but he also had like
maybe towards the end of the season, but he's definitely not worth being rostered at this point.
No, yeah, I'd be dropping him.
What about you, Christian?
I'd be going after Jamal Williams if he's available. I mean, I'm spending 50% of fab budget on him. He just has a definite role out there, and of course, if the likely chance of DeAndre Swift continuously being hurt this season, I mean, he's a weak winner. As far as droppable players, man, there's a couple. I mean, Nico Collins, if you got him, Allen Robinson, who's a couple? Hold on, I had a list. I probably drop Allen Robinson. Jarvis Landry, still got him. James Cook. I'm probably about ready to get rid of James Cook if I got him. But those are a couple guys I'd be willing to drop.
I concur. He's probably not out there, but yeah, Khalil Herbert probably my number one priority. And then I wouldn't. Yeah, there's nobody I would actually break the bank for this week. But if you need some spots to fill in, or if you have some of those droppable players, there's definitely some solid names out there that'll give you a couple weeks at least to put some points on your team. And if you're falling behind, go ahead and do that. Yeah.
All right.
But that's it, man. We'll holler at y'all next week, maybe later on in the week if Nambo's down. If Christian's available, we can do that. But other than that, y'all got anything else on your mind? Cowboys are definitely losing right now, 13-6 by Saquon
Ready to watch this
touchdown.
comeback.
That just put the dagger in my weed.
Oh.
All right, from me, Christian, and Nabo, we out. We see you next week. Peace.
DFDUBB Scrubs coming up. DFDUBB Scrubs get the dubs. DFDUBB Scrubs is the plug. DFDUBB Scrubs showing love.